Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here. And with some of them, I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body. And because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires, in giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all-divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God Source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. Universal Law number 21. The law of divine love and oneness. This law concerns the ability of an entity to complete a round of reincarnation, develop such soul growth that the vibrational speed of the being qualifies him or her to merge with God. We then become a soul extension of God, and among our many choices, we have the ability to live in the liquid light which flows in and from God, or reincarnate as an avatar in third-dimensional existence with the purpose of aiding mankind.
So once again, as always, this is purely my interpretations, and I just try to simplify things down to something that's actually palatable for my own conscience, if not yours, for my understanding, if you like. So what I see this particular law as saying is that it infers that we all have a soul. That's all of us. That's you, that's me, that's the person next door, the person down the street. That includes the people that might appear that we consider to be a little heartless or callous, or even cruel. You know, everybody has a soul. We would, with kindness though, I suppose, say that those people who appear to be cruel, and unkind, that they are just unevolved, but they still have souls. Anyway, the idea that I see is that we all have this soul, and that this law states that through the process of birth and rebirth, we develop more and more awareness. This is the evolution of the soul, if you like. And at some point, we will have full knowledge and understanding based on our personal lived experience across multiple lifetimes. And because we have all of this lived experience across multiple lifetimes, our aura, it becomes more and more enlightened. That is, it can hold more and more light, more and more understanding. The speed of the aura vibrates very fast and quickens to the same rate as the God light, or the God, that's probably the best way I can think to describe it. You might want to try and integrate that into your understanding in a way that has meaning to you, because this is where, once again, we come back to that law of analogy. We're attempting to describe things that are basically indescribable. Now, when they refer to the God light, this is my understanding too, it's referred to within this law as a liquid light. I believe it's the same light that some people refer to as the Christ light. The way I refer to it is, I call it the white light, or the purest form of white light, which is somewhat like this image here that I've got, where it's white, but it's kind of iridescent and it brings in other colours of the rainbow. So I call that the white light. So this is basically considered to be, or once they get to the point where their aura, or yours or mine or whoever's aura, is able to hold and sustain that white light, they're said to be vibrating at the same as the God light, if I'm correct. I'm going to have to pause this for a moment while I rethink where my brain is going with this. So from my perspective, I just had a little bit of a think. What I believe is a little bit confusing for those of us that work with energy and channel it, is because quite often we will visualize this color light, and that's what we call lightening our aura, to be able to deliver messages and things like that. But anyway, this light is considered to be a bridge between those of us that are on the earth plane and the God self. But there's a but. I also believe that the reference within this law to reincarnation refers to, and where they make the reference to avatars, refers to our spirit guides. Now, our spirit guides are going to have this very high vibration of aura, and I'll speak to that in a moment, because I actually want to tell you a story that it's personal, it's real, it really happened, and it was pretty mind-blowing. So quite some years ago now, my children, their paternal great uncle, he was quite simple because he had been starved of oxygen when he was about 3 years old during a operation on his tonsils. And so you can imagine, he was being a great uncle. He passed away when he was 75 from bowel cancer. And oh God, he was just the most adorable person. So from a from an intellectual capacity, he would be somewhere around 6 years old in his brain. He was very young, and he was gorgeous. Now, as far as being spiritually aware goes, when he was alive in his body, they weren't really conversations that we would talk about with him. I certainly didn't have conversations about spirit and spirituality and that kind of thing. At the time, just before he died, he was in a like an old age community, if you like. His stepmother was still alive, so she was 95 or whatever. So they were living together in this community, if you like, and I went up to visit them one day. It was not long before he died. In fact, it was only a couple of weeks. And I asked him how he was going, as you do, and the dear little soul, he turned around and he said to me, "Oh, I saw Jesus." And I said, "Oh, you saw Jesus?" I thought, this is interesting. I'd didn't think that he was religious. It wasn't a conversation we had. And I said, so tell me about that. How did that work? And he goes, he said, are you okay if I tell you? I said, I'm more than okay. Let me, do tell me. He said, I was one of the people that was in the community practiced Reiki, and he said they had asked if they could do some Reiki on him to help him, because obviously he was pretty ill. He was really ailing at this time. And he said, and he put their hands, he said, no, I just saw this beautiful light. And he described this light that we've got here. He said, and I'm not frightened of dying anymore, in his sweet little way. He said, because I saw Jesus. He said, and I know Jesus will look after me. Now, I want to be very clear here that I actually respect people's different religious beliefs, but I don't call it the Christ light, is where I'm going. And I hadn't made my own associations with this light and Jesus, but I sort of feel that that was a phenomenal experience to actually hear. It was one that he came to by himself, unprompted. That was his experience, and he shared it with me, and I thought, and I still think it was absolutely beautiful. But I also do know, because of my own family experiences as well, that there was a member of the family had a near-death experience, and this person was a non-believer in spiritual stuff as well, and they said that this uncle had presented to them in full health, and he was swathed in this particular colour. So sometimes just listening to people's stories, you start to pull together the similarities, and this is why I say I don't consider myself a teacher. I consider myself, I guess, an information gatherer, and I just share the little kernels that I get along the way with people and hope that it gives benefit to them. Anyway, I want to have a chat now about avatar and what that might mean. So I'm pretty sure when people hear the word avatar, they think of the movie Avatar. Who was that, through Disney or whatever, with these blue people and Sirius A and Sirius B and that kind of thing. Well, that's not my understanding of the word. And I did a bit of a Google because language I find a bit of a problem sometimes, even though English is my first language. And what I managed to find, and I thought, yeah, okay, so this has meaning to me, and it may have meaning to you. Avatars are considered to be the embodiments of spiritual perfection, driven by noble goals. And in the Hindu traditions, such as, and my pronunciations may not be right, I apologise in advance. In the Hindu traditions, such as Vaishnavism, the concept of the avatar is not compatible with natural conception through a sexual act. Now, I'm really not sure what that means. And it says that it's different from the Christian concept of the virgin birth. That I just find very, very confusing, actually. So if an avatar is the embodiment, so that's a physical body with noble goals, they're not conceived via the sexual act. So that means, I'm just trying to interpret this, that means that they're a physical manifestation of a human form, if you like, but they are not physically born of the earth. So they're not said to be like the second coming of Christ. Look, I'm going to put my hand up here and say, this all sounds a little bit confusing to me. But anyway, it goes to the next point of saying that there's the avatar, despite the fact that it's never been conceived. So do you know what? I actually am speculating here that there's an error in translation. It's this business of words, language, and analogy again, because it refers to the process of reincarnation, and that the avatar is somebody that has returned to the earth many times to help humanity in different forms. Now, that bit I get, okay, because I do understand that there are some historical figures. I think I'll stick with Kuan Yin as the first example, because Kuan Yin, while she's referred to as a Buddhist goddess, and I think she was born in Taiwan, actually. I can't remember now. But basically what I understand is that she did live on the earth plane, as did Jesus, if people know their history, Jesus is believed even by the Hindus and the rabbis and all the rest of it to have walked the earth plane. They just don't agree with the Christian principles that Jesus was God incarnate. So there's a core difference there as far as values go. But anyway, when it comes to Kuan Yin, she apparently, when she was dying or leaving her physical body, she made some comment about that she was going to dedicate and commit her life as a spirit on the other side, once she no longer had a body, to attempting to uplift humanity. So where I'm going with this is, I think this is what we refer to as an avatar. So it's probably a soul that is far more enlightened even than the guides. I say this respectfully and no offense. I'm learning the same as everybody else. I'm learning and growing all the time. Look, I'm going to put it down to, there are some people that also believe that there are beings such as the Ascended Masters, and they believe that Jesus has been reincarnated as an Ascended Master through multiple lifetimes, which actually that would fly in contrast with Christian believers. But whatever, I'm going to the point that, just for the record, I'm a believer that whatever you believe is right for you. It's not necessarily right for everybody else, and that's probably why I don't believe it's appropriate to try and force everyone else to believe what we believe. So I'm kind of diverting away from the law on the topic here. So the topic being, coming back to topic, is one that whatever you believe in, if it helps you to live in divine flow, to feel connected to all, to have greater peace and harmony in your life, and to be able to show and demonstrate more love and kindness to those people around you, then I perceive that this is a good thing, that you are living in divine flow if you're able to do this. Anyway, whatever your thoughts are on Avatar, they're your individual thoughts. I'm going to leave it at this and just turn around and say, I don't think there's too much more I can add to this. But this would be one of those scenarios that it would be really good to have an open discussion about, and have people inject their thoughts, beliefs, musings, whatever into this conversation. And then collectively, we might be able to define it a little better. Anyway, so for now, I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Have a wonderful, glorious day. Take care. See you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.